I'm back. It's Morning Joe and the Pro, and we've got Teddy with us. How are you, my brother? What's going on in Vegas, and why is one collar tucked in and one out?
Probably because I threw the jacket on right before I came on here. How are things in Vegas? Are you kidding? This is the Monday of March Madness. You know what things are like in Vegas. A, spring came here finally. B, it's the epitome of an exciting time to be in Sin City. This is the best week of the year in Las Vegas. It really is.
Well, I had an incredible weekend, man. I skied. I left on Wednesday. I skied Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Park City, Utah. The weather was spectacular. I got a tan, dude. You can actually see a little bit of my raccoon eyes going. It was unbelievable. I mean, you honestly couldn't get any better conditions than we had. You don't ski, though.
I don't ski, and the one thing I most assuredly don't do, my friend, is ski during conference championship weekend, which in my mind is one of the best. I mean, I know that this week gets the hype, last week gets the money, and the results show it. I mean, my clients are all smiling on Monday morning. It's a great week of betting this past week. The conference tournaments really offer, as far as I'm concerned, some of the best value, the legitimate value that you'll find all year. And we had a great week. So I'm glad you enjoyed your skiing, but my clients made money.
My clients made money too, Teddy. I won my 5-star last night on the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm utterly annihilating the college basketball books. I'm on a 7-1 NBA run. I'm on a 4-1 NHL run. So yeah, ain't my fault you can't work and ski at the same time.
Okay. I don't want to work and ski at the same time. I like working.
Okay, brother.
Ski.
Anyway, let's set up the day.
Okay,
I want to give out a promo for me. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on at WagerTalk.com. And then we're going to go through the March Madness futures. We're going to talk about who's going to win it outright, the odds. Same with the regionals. And maybe if we get enough time, we'll talk a couple of games for this coming Thursday. How does that sound?
Okay. It sounded great, except for that I didn't hear a word that you said because one of us froze.
Okay, well, I'm sure everyone else heard what's said. So let's start. We're gonna talk about what's going on at Wager Talk. Right off the bat, Dwayne Bryant, a 69% NBA run since January 25th. That is incredible. He was the number one overall handicapper percentage unit-wise at WagerTalk.com last year. And he's got a total tonight at WagerTalk. It's $9 Mondays. So every play we sell at WagerTalk.com is $9. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Check it out. And check out Ralph at Kel Sports, 92% winning days in the last 12 days. So he's won 11 of his last 12 days. I don't know why he just didn't put that. 26-10 run in his last 36 plays. He's rolling, and he's got an NBA total of the week up at WagerTalk.com. And Teddy, I want to give out a promo. The promo is CBB125. That's $125 for my college basketball right till the championship is over and the champion is crowned. And you know, everybody watches me. They listen to me talk about hockey mostly. And when I'm on these shows, I tend to ask questions of the guests and really make you guys look good, except you, because, you know, I like making you look bad. But I know college basketball just like everyone else. And I want to tell you guys, since last year, at the start of March Madness, I am 60% in college basketball. And my March Madness last year, Teddy, 18-7. Last year in March Madness, that's 18-7. I'm rolling right now. I've been rolling for 12 calendar months in this sport. Nobody did better than me in March Madness last year at a 72% clip. So head over to WagerTalk.com, use the promo code CBB125, and get the rest of my college basketball for $125. Theodore, You want to brag a little?
No, I don't need to brag. If someone's interested in my plays, they'll go to my page and see my streaks. You're 4-1 in the last 5 NHL. That's a great streak, buddy. Keep promoting that.
Well, you're 20-8 in NBA action in your last.
Yeah. The NBA's been good. The college hoops has been good. March has been good. February was good. January was good. My clients are making money, so that's my job. Not skiing, not promoting the other guys. My job is to pick winners, and I feel like I've done a decent job of that here in 2019.
I think you're probably leading the way, brother. You're probably the number one handicapper at the website in 2019. We both know that'll come crashing to a halt when I surpass you. But until then, enjoy every moment, good friend.
Why, thank you, Lawrence. That's very sweet of you.
So should we go skiing together maybe this weekend?
Dude, can you imagine me skiing?
No.
I mean, you want to talk arm? I mean, there's zero chance I'm getting down the bunny hill without breaking a leg. Okay, let alone a real hill, let alone a mountain, let alone what you do. I mean, I'm a little brittle. You know what I mean? I don't flex real well. I'm kind of tall and skinny and angular.
Did you say flex?
Yeah. Keep doing it, bro. Nice.
Duke plus 220 to win it all. Gonzaga 550. North Carolina plus 700. Bradley. Colgate plus 200,000. Worth putting $1 on any of those teams?
Bradley or Colgate? No.
Yeah.
Only if you don't like dollars.
Well said, my brother. Let's take a look at who's going to win this thing outright. I mean, look, Duke is obviously a massive favorite with Zion playing so well and Barrett, the whole team coming together, the best coach in college hoops. Gonzaga at 550, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, I would love to see Mark Pugh get a championship. This guy took this team over, 10, 12 years ago, never even... they were barely on the radar, and now it seems every year the recruits are great and they're going on long runs, but they just can't seem to get over the hump. And then you have North Carolina, a team that literally sleepwalks its way through the regular season and shows up for the big dance. You're in and you're out. Virginia at plus 700. We've seen this team put on. I mean, what a year they have had. In Kentucky at plus 1,200, Michigan State at plus 1,400. Let's start with those 6 teams, Teddy, and then maybe look at the field afterwards. It's not a matter of who do you think is going to win. If you ask someone, who do you think is going to win? It's reasonable for them to say Duke. But based on the odds of laying 100 to win 220, knowing what happens year in and year out in these tournaments, seeing 2 seeds go, seeing 1 seeds fall, surely they're not the best value on the board. And maybe I think it might be Virginia at plus 700. Where are you looking?
Okay, you said so many wrong things.
Oh, God.
In that, I don't even know where to start. I really don't know where to start. First, look a little about the history of the Gonzaga program before you say really dumb things about where it was 10 years ago, because they were right where they are now 10 years ago when Mark Fox left for the Georgia job. And Fuse kept it going, but he didn't build that program. I don't even know where to go. There were so many. You were just spouting this nonsense.
How about telling us who the hell you think is where to lay some money on who's going to win the NCAA
let's
championship?
Start with the concept. Futures for the NCAA tournament aren't just a bad bet. They are a terrible bet. Even with a team like Duke, even with the favorite, if you just bet them on the money line in every game, you will end up with more money than you would have if you would have just taken the future book is for lazy guys and for guys that want to promote it on Twitter. Oh, look what I got. I got this ticket.
I got to stop you because you make a great point. I mean, if you bet Duke literally on the money line all the way through, even with them being, minus 1,800 or whatever it is, you're going to make way more money than if you're stupid enough to take them at plus 220.
In addition, you have the ability to do things like, not bet it for this game, or lock in some profit and bet it for half for the next game, or whatever you want to do in that regard. It gives you flexibility. Once you make your future book wager, the only flexibility is can I hedge? And hedging means I'm going to give up a portion of my profits.
Yeah, but not only that, you're going to have to wait so long to make those hedges, right? I mean, are you going to hedge in the semis? Are you going to hedge in the finals? I'm with you there.
Well, when you have a big ticket, when you have a 100 to 1 ticket, when you
Right.
have a 50 to 1 ticket, you can have multiple hedge situations.
So let's talk about that, Teddy. I mean,
okay.
Iowa State at plus 4,000. Is there value there? This team has looked good all year.
Iowa State's not winning the national championship. No. The national championship winner will probably come from one of those 6 teams you mentioned. Okay? I mean, prohibitive favorite that one of those 6 teams you were talking about, or a number 1 or a number 2 seed. We can even let's expand it to those 8 teams that are the 1s and the 2s. Clearly, those are the best teams in the country. One of those teams is very likely to cut down the nets. The best way to bet whichever one of those teams you're looking at, or 2 of those teams you're looking at, is to bet them game by game, not to make a future book wager prior to the start of the tournament. Again, that's the lazy way. And if you're super busy, you don't have time, you want to do it the lazy way,
going
fine.
Skiing.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going skiing or, that sort of thing. But if you want to do it the way a professional does it, the way a bettor who's actually trying to make money long term does it, you're not going to see them betting these type of future odds ever. You might see them taking 100 to 1 shots and 200 to 1 shots and 50 to 1 shots on some live teams that are being mispriced early in the season. At this stage of the campaign, there's not one wise guy I know that has any interest in the future book market that is purely for recreational bettors, a.k.a. squares, a.k.a. suckers.
Oh, aren't you the nicest man? He's Teddy Covers. I'm the Prez. You're watching Morning Joe and the Pro. And guys, listen to me. Use the promo code CBB125. Get my college hoops until the end of the madness for $125. 18-7 last year. So, Teddy, we were going to speak about the futures for the regionals, but I take it that's going to bore you and you're just going to lecture us.
Well, no. With regionals, okay, I'm much more inclined to take a look at a team in the mid-range where you can get 10, 15, 20 to 1 on that is live to reach the conference finals.
Okay,
the regional finals.
Let's
go. You
can
hedge off them there.
Let's go through them.
Okay, let's.
East Regional, obviously we have Duke at a massive number, 5-8.
I'm not betting against Duke, and I'm not betting on Duke. They're an impossible team. Duke is the best team in the country. They deserve to be favorites. I'm in no interest in stepping in front of them. I'm not going to bet any other teams there because I think that Duke is coming out of that region, but I'm not laying 5-8 with Duke. I'm not going to do it. It's a bad bet. If there's any bet there, I'd bet Sparty. I bet the number 2 seed. But obviously, given Izzo's track record against Coach K. And did you call Coach K the best coach in college basketball? Yeah, those words actually came out of your mouth? He's a recruiter, dude. He's not an X's and O's guy. Never has been.
Okay,
Dana Altman's the best coach in college basketball.
Who?
Dana Altman.
Okay, there you go. Thank you for that, Teddy. Would you like to go on a rampage about suckers again?
No, let's talk about the Midwest or the South or the West.
Okay, well, we got the North Carolina Tar Heels at 8-5. Kansas 10-1. Houston and Kentucky are right in between. And Iowa State at 8-1. Obviously there's some massive numbers there. Washington at 100-1 and all the way down to Iona. What are you looking here?
No live dogs. I think it's North Carolina, Kentucky, Houston. Top 3 teams in the region. There's not anyone I'm looking at as a long shot, as a realistic long shot in that
Houston
region.
At 5-1. Is that worth looking at?
That's an interesting line. It speaks volumes about the respect for the Cougs in the marketplace right now, which also tells me I'm not so sure I'm going to find value in Houston moving forward. That team is pretty darn good. They're capable of playing with anybody. I wouldn't sell them short. That being said, I don't know if they can beat North Carolina or Kentucky.
Speaking of Kentucky, yeah, they're 3-1. That's a tight line for them, especially given that they have to go through those 2 teams.
Well, when you look, the toughest region by far is the West, and the Midwest is second toughest. East and South are the 2 easier regions. And in general, when I'm talking about the tough regions, yeah, I am looking for dogs. Where's your Auburn or your Iowa State? And you want to take a shot on Auburn? I wouldn't talk you out of it. They just caught magic, and I worry about teams that just played 4 games in 4 nights the following weekend. I'm not convinced the Tigers are going to have it so easy. So, I mean, there may be upside with Auburn out of the middle of the pack teams in that tier. I might look at them. I'm not in love with them. I'm not in love with Iowa State either.
Both at 8-1. He's Teddy. I'm the Prez. You're watching Morning Joe and the Pro. You can see us every week, every day, 5 days a week at WagerTalk TV on our YouTube channel. Teddy, let's go to the South. Virginia at 6-5, Tennessee at 3-1, Villanova at 12-1, Cincinnati, who have had moments where they could beat most teams in the league, at 15-1. Where anything here? Anything jump out at you here that's worth betting?
Sure. Here's somewhere where for as good as Virginia's been, the Cavaliers have not been in the Final Four in the Tony Bennett era. And when you have a team that has consistently failed, despite having number 1 seeds or number 2 seeds or being an elite team, I have to look at them. And Virginia's capable of winning it all, but I have to look at Virginia as a flawed squad right now, and the markets aren't doing that. Tennessee, I don't trust Tennessee. I understand what a great game they played against Kentucky over the weekend. Maybe the first time Rick Barnes' team has stepped up in a big game. I don't trust Tennessee. I flat out don't. Same story with Purdue. So this is a region where I might look at some of the long shots. And again, I was just talking up Dana Altman and the Oregon Ducks. Look at Oregon. They're 20-1 come out of this region. That tells you already what the wise guys think of Oregon. Maybe you take a shot here with a Cincinnati or a Nova or a Wisconsin or an Ole Miss. I think there's room for a dog to come out of the South, even though obviously Virginia, on paper, they're a national title caliber team. I've just seen them fail too many times in these games.
You're in and you're out. The West, Gonzaga 6-5, Michigan 3-1, Texas Tech 9-2. The Wolfpack 25-1, but the Orange, Teddy, the Orange and the Spartans, they're so interesting because both of these teams can sleepwalk through the regular season, under everybody's radar. Nobody thinks they're going to do well, and then bam, the tournament starts. Is there any value on the Orange here?
No, I don't think Syracuse is a national championship or a West region winning team, but this is a brutal region. Okay, it doesn't get a whole lot more brutal than this. Texas Tech can make noise, Michigan can make noise, Florida State can make noise, Marquette can make noise, Buffalo can make noise, Nevada can make noise, Syracuse makes the Sweet 16 every year. You want to talk about a conference that goes deep? I didn't even talk about Florida. This is a deep region. It might be the type of region where you look for a long shot. But
Florida's paying 50-1.
It's 6-1 or less, and I'm not finding a ton of value in that. I'll just put it that way. It's a region where I think there's room for a sleeper. And Florida State at 6-1, that's one worth looking at. There's a lot of respect for the Seminoles in the marketplace right now, and I think it's deserved. That is a brutal region, and it's a brutal region for the mid-majors. You have Gonzaga, Buffalo, Nevada, the 3 best mid-majors all grouped together. So there won't be a multiple mid-major Final Four no matter what happens.
Teddy, couple of minutes left in the show. I just want to ask you, the madness, it's called the madness. It's mad. People are going to win or lose a lot of money. Can you talk about how to approach betting March Madness? Because this is probably, this coming weekend might be the biggest betting weekend of the year. Is there any overall conceptual advice?
Don't chase. That's my only advice. If you're having a bad day, all right, I'm having a bad day. You're having a bad weekend, all right, I'm having a bad weekend. Don't try to win it all back with the late game on Sunday, because you got to pay your man on Monday morning. That's your recipe for disaster. And in a tournament like this, honestly, where Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is literally from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed. My advice would be pace yourself. From a human standpoint, pace yourself. It's going to be a long weekend. Don't go all in on Thursday and then get screwed because you lost all your games. You got nothing on Friday. Take your time, enjoy it, but maybe you knock your unit sizes down a notch so you can have the action you want to. But God, don't go broke on Thursday. Don't go broke on Friday and be out of action, because the really good bets are over the weekend. There's some, Saturday and Sunday, the round 2 games every year. I find some extraordinary.
Well, and it's a great point, Teddy, because we're going to see some upsets on Thursday and Friday.
Of course.
And I think that the correction actually happens on the Saturday and Sunday. And especially given that, we see a team like St. Mary's, for instance, getting through, or Old Dominion pulling an upset out of their ass on Thursday or Friday. People will want to bet them on the Saturday or Sunday, and that's usually blowout weekend.
Sure. There are opportunities both ways. You have favorites that are good favorites that came out and survived in advance in day one or day 2 of the tournaments. And those are guys that I love.
Oh, yeah.
We see that
every single year. One of these one of the 8 top 2 seeds is going to squeak out a victory. And then the next game on Saturday or Sunday, they just put the smackdown on their opponents.
Sure, but it's not just the top seeds. It could be a 5 seed that escaped, where didn't play well and escaped with a 2-point win, and now here they are on Saturday or on Sunday, and they're catching points instead of laying them, or it's a cheap price. The bottom line is, in my opinion, the very best bets are over the week, are in the rounds, are in round 2 of the NCAA tournament, the Saturday Sunday games, and that is one time where I would recommend as much as possible to be fully bankrolled, which means don't go nuts on Thursday and Friday.
Teddy, I want to give one piece of advice, and I'd like to know your thoughts, and then we'll call it a show. What I really like doing in the Madness, especially in round 1 and 2, I think most of my biggest bets are actually halftime bets. You find that the dogs are coming out strong in that first half, and it takes a little bit to get going for teams like Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, State, etc. I find there to be a lot of value on the big favorites playing it tight in the first half and opening it up in the second half. I really look for those second half bets.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't talk you out of it. Although there are games where you're going to have to gauge, is this a flurry from the underdog, or is this underdog going to hang for the full 40 minutes? Because if you see an underdog with confidence playing well and a favorite that may not have put their foot down in the first half, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be able to put their foot down in the second half. So, I don't know.
Which team's the most pissed off they didn't make the dance?
Who cares? Well, honestly, who cares?
No, because I have a follow-up question to that, and it always amazed me. Why would a team?
Probably NC State would be the most pissed off, but there are literally them or Greensboro. Greensboro got hosed more than anyone, because the only reason they didn't get in is because Oregon got in. So Greensboro went bye-bye. So those are the 2 teams that I'd say were probably the most pissed off. But I have no sympathy for the NC States or the Indianas of the world. I'm sorry. You just lost too many games, and that's how it is. And in a tournament with 68, not 64, we're not seeing the snubs the way we used to.
Well, I'm going to speak to Ralph tomorrow. Guys, I'm going to have Ralph on Morning Joe and the Pro tomorrow to talk NCAA. And one of the things I'm going to ask him, Teddy, is there's got to be some really good statistics one way or the other about teams that felt they should have been in the big dance, and now they're stuck in the NIT, etc. What happens to those teams? Are they deflated and they come out looking bad, or are they mad and they win it all?
The answer is it depends, and the answer is it's a case-by-case basis, and I'm sure if you're looking for database results, number one, it's going to be very hard to quantify which team's disappointed, and number 2, you're probably going to come close to 50-50. Again, Google News is a very powerful tool. If you read articles, you're going to get players' quotes and coaches' quotes that'll say, hey, we're a little disappointed, but we're really pumped up, or we're just devastated, the team's really down right now, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a difference between those 2 quotes. You can find them, and you'll find both varieties over the course of the next 24 hours if you take the time to do your homework, or you can pay one of us to do that for you.
You doing any brackets?
I'm sure I'll fill out a bracket. I haven't filled one out yet, though.
He's Teddy on the Prez, and that, my friends, Morning Joe and the Pro. Theodore, thanks for hanging with me, brother. 25 minutes of listening to your beautiful voice and looking at your ugly mug.
Yeah. After spending 25 minutes with you, I'm ready to either slip my wrists or get back to handicapping. So I think I'll pick the latter.
We're out. Later, buddy.